Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into a feeling that is so common, but also really misunderstood. We're talking about the architecture of isolated connection. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a packed room, maybe at a party, or even just hanging out with friends, and you suddenly feel this wave of loneliness? It's a really weird feeling, right? To be literally surrounded by people, but feel like you're a million miles away.
If that question hits home for you, the first thing you need to hear is this. That feeling does not mean there's something wrong with you. It is absolutely not a flaw. Think of it more like a signal. Your mind is trying to get your attention about something really important. And to figure out what that signal means, we've got to stop counting the number of people around us and start looking at the quality of those connections. This is where we get into what you might call emotional gaps. You know, a great way to think about this is like food. Some social interactions are basically junk food. They're like empty calories, you know? They fill up your calendar, they pass the time, but afterward you're left feeling, well, completely unnourished. And here's the real difference between the two. On one hand, you have shallow connections. It's all about performance, right? It's about seeking approval, saying the right things, and just keeping everything on the surface. But a deep connection? That's all about authenticity. It's about trying to genuinely understand someone and creating that safe space where you can actually be vulnerable. So, bringing it back to that food analogy, that lonely feeling you get in a crowd, it's not just some random emotion. It's a very specific kind of hunger. It's your mind, your soul, craving something way more nutritious, a truly meaningful connection. Okay, but what's behind that hunger for depth? What's driving it? Well, deep down, it's this quest for something called internal validation. So let's just break that down. Internal validation is basically that state where you can approve of your own actions, your own feelings, your own identity, without needing anyone else to give you a thumbs up. It's a sense of worth that you generate from the inside out. And here's the absolute key. For some of us, that deep need to be authentic, to get that internal validation, is actually a stronger pull than the need for social acceptance. So when you're in a social situation that's forcing you to be fake, it just creates this massive internal conflict. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The cost of fitting in was feeling completely alone. When you feel like you have to put on a mask just to be accepted, you end up feeling totally isolated anyway, because the real you isn't even there. The price you pay to fit in is your own connection to yourself. Now, this preference for deep connection, it isn't just some personality quirk. There's a biological basis for it, and it's rooted right in the architecture of your brain. This is so important to grasp. If you feel this way, it's not really a choice you're making. It's a direct reflection of how your brain is actually built. This need for depth is quite literally hardwired into your neurology. Scientists have a term for this: high emotional sensitivity. And I want you to focus on that word, neutral. This isn't a flaw, it's not a disorder, it's not a weakness, it's just a trait. It's like having blue eyes or being left-handed. All it means is that your brain is wired to process everything, information, emotions, social cues, more deeply and thoroughly than the average brain. So what does that actually look like in your day-to-day life? Well, you probably notice all the little subtle things that other people miss. You might need a little more time to really process experiences before you can move on. You're probably just naturally pulled toward those big, meaningful conversations. And as a result, your tolerance for small talk is probably, pretty low. So with all that in mind, what do? This is where we get to flip the script. It's about using all this as a new kind of compass to help you navigate your social world and really redefine what connection even means to you. And here it is, the biggest mindset shift of all. That feeling of loneliness isn't a bug in your system, it's a feature. It's your internal compass, and it is always pointing you in the direction of authenticity. Following that compass really comes down to three things. First, you just have to acknowledge your need for depth. Stop fighting it. Second, start actively prioritizing the kinds of interactions where you can actually be yourself. And third, and this one is huge, learn to choose meaningful time alone over company that just drains you. Because being alone and being lonely are two very different things. When you get right down to it, this feeling is an invitation. It's calling you to stop trying to squeeze yourself into a social life that just doesn't fit, and to start building one that actually honors the way you're wired, one that fills you up instead of leaving you empty. So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. What if your loneliness isn't a problem that you need to fix? What if, instead, you saw it for what it really is? A totally reliable guide that's leading you toward a more honest, more fulfilling, and more authentic life.